Number 1. A private conversation. Last week I went to the theater. I had a very good seat, and the play was very interesting. However, I did not enjoy the play because a young man and a young woman were sitting behind me and they were talking very loudly. I got very angry because of this, since I couldn't hear the actors. I turned round and I looked at the man and at the woman angrily. But they did not pay any attention to me. In the end, I could not bear it anymore. I turned round again and I said, "I cannot hear a word." "It's none of your business," the young man said rudely. "This is a private conversation." Number 2. Breakfast or lunch? It was Sunday, and I never get up early on Sundays. I sometimes stay in bed until lunchtime. Last week, I got up very late. I looked out of the window, and it was very dark outside. What a day, I thought. It's raining again. Just then, the telephone rang. It was my Aunt Lucy. "I have just arrived by train," she said. "I'm coming to see you." "But I am still having breakfast," I said. "What are you doing?" she asked. "I am having breakfast," I repeated. "My goodness," she said. "Do you always get up so late? It is 1 o'clock already." Number 3. Please send me a card. Postcards always spoil my holidays. Last summer I went to Italy. I visited museums and I sat in public gardens. I was having a really good time. One day, a very friendly waiter taught me a few words of Italian. Then he lent me a book. I read a few lines, but I did not understand a single word. Every day I thought about postcards, and my holidays were passing very quickly. However, I had not sent any cards to my friends yet. On the last day, I made a big decision. I got up very early and I bought 37 cards. I spent the whole day in my room. However, I couldn't write a single word to any of my friends. Number 4. An exciting trip. I have just received a letter from my brother Tim. He is in Australia, and he has been there for 6 months now. Tim is an engineer, and he is working for a big company there. He has already visited a great number of different places in Australia. He has just bought a new car, and he has gone to Springs, which is a small town in the center of Australia. He will soon visit Darwin, and from there he will fly to Sydney. My brother has never been abroad before, so he is finding this trip really very exciting. Number 6. Percy buttons. I have just moved to a house in Bridge Street. Yesterday, a beggar knocked at my door. He asked me for a meal and a glass of beer. In return for this, the beggar stood on his head and sang many songs. I gave him the meal. He ate the food and drank the beer. Then he put a piece of cheese in his pocket and went away. Later, a neighbor told me about him. "Everybody knows him," he told me. "His name is Percy Buttons. He calls at every house in the street once a month and always asks for a meal and a glass of beer."